Hey everybody, Andrew themoo here, and here we are with another episode of Review and Retrospective. And from what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to make this a regular thing because, I'm at the point where I really want to be able to kind of review some of the games that I played, and I want to have more time to do that. So I'm going to try my best, and no guarantees, but I'm going to try my best to, as I'm playing through these games and getting to the end, that I'm going to have a review of them as soon as they are done. Doing a quick retrospective over my thoughts about the game and the experience, and overall giving it a grade like I normally do as far as for taking out the trash. And it's not going to be straight specific to taking out the trash, because I'm trying to do good games to go along with this. So, it may work out that we do things of that nature, but as soon as I finish a game, I'm going to try my best to do it that way. But we're starting out with Malice. And in Malice, you play as the goddess of... You know what, honestly, I have no idea what she's the goddess of. The game doesn't tell you a whole lot about the deities in the game. We're just introduced to two of them, Malice and the Dog God. The Dog God. I'm probably going to do that again. Even then, we know very little about them. We're introduced to Death, who really and truly plays nothing more than a comedic role, and honestly, you only see him once if you don't die. And there's the Orrery, and really and truly, I don't think he's a god. He's got no way of defending himself from attacks. He's not really much help other than as being a guide to Malice. So, alright, that brings me back to Malice. She's the goddess of, you know what? We're just going to say Valley Girl accents and bad lower back tattoos. Okay? Yeah, that sounds good. Alright, good. She's looking to take back her realm from a being simply known as the Dog God. Again, we don't know anything about him other than the fact that he's a dog and he's a god. The game opens with Malice running through some sort of building while being chased by... I have no idea what that's supposed to be. I'm assuming at this point that that's supposed to be... Oh! Later on in the game, you find out that it is a crow being from this world. In fact, there's a war going on between some of the crows. Okay. Malice meets Dog God. She loses her head. She meets Death and is told to sort the mess that has been made. Malice meets the Orrery, who guides her through the rest of the game, and what she's told is that there are a number of keys scattered out throughout the realms, and boy oh boy are these wonderful realms. In each of these realms, you've got we're just going to sum it up like this, you have the lack of thereof forest, an old biddy's house, some caverns, a sewer, some more caverns, what seems to be some barracks, a scientific area. The forest has been burned down. Alright, suddenly we're at the Dog God. Awesome. But in each of these worlds, you've got a key that is being guarded by one of Dog God's minions. And you have to defeat the minion, and you have to unlock these locks so you can fight the final battle with him. And of course, you've got to get the Mecha Malice, which it's funny that there's a Mecha Malice that exists, and yet Malice is like, I've never seen this before. But it's armor that's specifically made for her. In fact, it looks just like her. How does she not know that this exists? Is she that apathetic to the point that I don't know, maybe there's some greater being who's like, Malice, yeah, whatever. We have this armor for you whenever you have need. Whatever. Like, she has no clue about this. And yet she complains to the Orrery, saying, how did I not know about this? I'm just wearing a t-shirt and jeans. I don't get it. So, I want to go into the review process of this, but I don't want to just sit here and make a 30-minute video like I have on some of the other ones. We're just going to dumb this down to pros and cons and kind of go from there with it and then give it with a final grade. We're going to start with the easy one first with these taking out the trash games, and that's the cons. Con number 1, the game is boring. I actually began recording this back in the fall of 2016 and then got bored with the game and started playing Van Helsing and finished that, and we know how well that went. I continued recording some more of the game and then decided I would play Strawberry Shortcake. Strawberry Shortcake of all games. Actually finished that before I finished Malice, which may say something about me or about Malice. I finally powered through it. And it would just got to points where I would just play and I would lose interest in the game. And honestly, it's not for lack of trying. I try to give my all, even when I'm playing these bad games. But, like, the game is just boring. And there are very few instances where you have an interesting gimmick per stage. The only time you really have one is where you're doing, like, you're escorting these bots around, but it only lasts for a few moments. But, oh, the collectathon where you've got to find key cards and nuts and gears and things of that nature, the terrible gimmick of collectathons just continues throughout the game. But one thing that I've also found, and this goes along with the game being boring, is that the game is real easy. Con number 2. I only died once, and it was due to my own fault. It's not because the game was challenging, it's because of the fact I did something extremely stupid, and I died for it. Well, I guess that's a good thing because I did get to show off, like, the death area, but other than stupidity on my part, I didn't even come close to dying in this game. I think an average gamer who doesn't play that often probably won't die once while playing this game. And I really think that's one of the big reasons why this game is boring. There's no challenge, no excitement. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a moment when I talk about the challenge. But I just want you to realize that the game is easy. Voice acting is con number 2 because it's very lacking in the game. Now, one known fact about this game is that the band No Doubt was originally supposed to play the roles of the main characters. Now, something along the way caused the idea to fall to the wayside. I think it was some sort of issues with Argonaut, and they had to delay the game, and because of that, No Doubt was not able to do that anymore. But you know what? I think Gwen Stefani had things end up working out for her regardless of this, and I think she's probably thankful that she didn't actually do the voice work for this game. And so you had other people to take up the role of Death and Juju Man and so on. Malice sounds bored the entire time you hear her talking.
So what's the deal with this key thing anyway?
Now, Malice may very well just be the goddess of apathy for all I can tell. I don't know if she's supposed to have a Valley Girl accent or something of that nature, where it sounds like she's asking a question, even though she's not asking a question. But she sounds uninterested all the time. Even when she's trying to sound excited, she just sounds bored.
Hey, there's mighty mecha armor and you tell me about it now? Do you know how many bullets I've taken? I'm in a t-shirt here.
Really and truly, the voice work is uninspired throughout the entire game because doggone is just growling to the mic as they process my voice. Juju Man sounds like a bad Elvis impersonator.
Oh, don't say you don't recognize me, girlfriend.
And the crows who worship Malice, and the Deep South hick.
Malice Almighty, it's her, the great goddess. Say, dude, I told you she existed, and there's you worshiping that blue hedgehog.
Death is really and truly one of the only characters whose voice I actually enjoyed.
Death? Death? Death! A billion bleeding corpses, and the whole thing falls apart. Hello? And who has to sort it out?
Con number 4. The jokes fall flat on their face. Listen to this beauty right here.
Hey, what's up, Twiggy?
Something awful clawing inside me. It hurts real bad. I think I'm going to be sick. Do something.
What about wind? Is it giving you wind?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what you get when you're playing this game. Fart jokes. How about this?
Work hammer, a weapon whose power is matched only by its nifty good looks. Use the same attack buttons for swipe and quake.
Lock your kennel, dog god. It's hammer time.
Ho, hammer, ho, ho, ho. What? You think I wasn't cool in the 80s?
I'm just glad you ain't my dad, man. You could embarrass a kid big time.
Guys, that's an MC Hammer reference. That was dated when this game was made because MC Hammer was popular back in the 80s when I was a kid. And that's pretty much what you get in this game. I think I ended up spending a couple of minutes in one of the videos giving out about the fact that they made a welfare joke. And I'm like, seriously? That's the kind of stuff that you get in this game. Next point, or next con. When you get to the end of the game, you're treated with, hey, it's cool now. Seriously, I understand you've got to have resolutions and things of that nature, but it's literally 1 minute of Malice raises her hands, everything's green again, the crows that were on her side are happy, and then she's like, don't call me mother, kick in the face. What? I mean, I understand that the story is trying to tell, what I'm assuming, of a god who got too big for his breeches and decided he wanted to take over the cosmos. Well, the realm that he starts with is guarded by a lazy heroine who ends up stepping up to the plate to become the superstar she's always been capable of being. But the sudden, everything's green, kick to the face, really does nothing for me in trying to tell me this was a good game that you should not regret playing through. Because literally I looked at this and I went, I wasted how much of my life on this? It destroys the story that they tried to tell, in my opinion. I guess the last con that I want to mention that I can think of is that there are sections I had to repeat over and over and over because of terrible camera work. Like, the camera would freeze in a position, I could not move it, and so that made platforming difficult and annoying. Now, let's pause there for a moment, because I talked about the fact earlier that the game was not challenging. Notice that I used the word too difficult here. Not too challenging, too difficult. Now, I'm not expecting a game as challenging as something like Dark Souls or something of that nature, but I want challenge, not annoyingly difficult. But there's a lot of that in this game. What are the pros of this game? I only can think of 2 pros off the top of my head. I actually enjoyed the 2 idiot crows a bit too much. They're southern, they're stupid. They actually made me laugh while I was playing through this video game. In all honesty, that was probably the highest point of playing through it, was hearing these 2 idiots, banter back and forth. And I think I even played off of them just a little bit. Death, the character, was actually somewhat interesting to me. I liked the voice work there. But then again, he's nothing more than a cutscene and the Death Hub world. And so you don't see him ever again if you don't die. Yay, video games. So that's the only 2 pros I can think of this game. When the majority of your game is con, pro, these characters you see twice and this character you see once, you know we're dealing with a good game. So overall, what do I want to give this on the taking out the trash scale? And bear in mind, a high number does not mean a good thing on the taking out the trash scale, because the more of something that smells that you've got, the worse that it is. And so I give this game 8 out of 10 grody goddesses. Yeah, I'm actually redoing things a bit. It makes me seem a little bit more professional to use a scale of 10 instead of 5. So 8 out of 10 grody goddesses. And if I remember correctly, this ended up being Argonaut Studios' last video game. And to me, that's a sad thing, because this is the company that brought us the Super FX chip, and ultimately Star Fox. They actually introduced strafing in video games. They brought us Croc, Legend of the Gobos, which was taken from a prototype they made of a 3D Yoshi game, after Shigeru Miyamoto and Nintendo did them wrong. So they've actually had a track record of some innovations in video games. And I think it's really sad that this is the last note that they leave in the gaming world. Malice, which really and truly is not a mediocre game, it is just outright terrible. And so, would I recommend you play this game? Obviously not. But anyway, this is Andrew the Moo, and hopefully this will be one of many reviews that we do in the very near future. Hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye now.